Welcome to Soul Stories, where every tale touches the heart, inspires the mind, and stays with the soul. The CEO of a powerful tech company, Mr. Adrian Cole, walked through the silent, glass-lined hallway of the 40th floor. The polished floors reflected the bright white lights above him, and the soft hum of computers filled the air. It was late in the evening, and most employees had already left. For Adrian, late nights at the office had become normal. Numbers, meetings, and board pressures filled his thoughts as he reviewed reports on his tablet while walking. Just as he was about to turn the corner toward the executive elevator, a tiny, trembling voice stopped him. Sir, my mom, crying in the bathroom. Adrian froze mid-step. He slowly lowered his tablet and looked down. Standing there was a little boy, no older than 5 or 6 years old. He wore a small blue hoodie that was slightly too big for him, and his tiny hands gripped a red toy car tightly, as if it were the only thing keeping him brave. His wide brown eyes were shiny with fear and confusion. Adrian wasn't used to moments like this. In his world, problems came as numbers, contracts, and deadlines. But this was real. This was human. He crouched down to the child's level, softening his voice. Hey there, he said gently. What's your name? The boy hesitated for a second before whispering, Ethan. That's a strong name, Adrian replied with a small smile. Where's your mommy, Ethan? The boy's lower lip trembled. In the bathroom, he said, pointing down the long hallway. She told me to wait, but she's been crying for a long time. The hallway suddenly felt much quieter. Adrian followed the direction of the boy's finger and noticed the faint light above the ladies' restroom sign. For the first time in years, he felt a strange tightening in his chest. He placed a reassuring hand on the boy's small shoulder. Thank you for telling me, Adrian said softly. You did the right thing. Ethan nodded slowly but didn't move. His little fingers tightened even more around the toy car. As Adrian stood back up, he took one last look around the empty hallway. No managers, no assistants, no security. Just a worried child and a crying mother behind a closed door. Without another word, Adrian turned and started walking toward the women's restroom, not as a CEO, but as a human being. Adrian stood in front of the women's restroom for a brief moment, his hand hovering in the air. In all his years as CEO, he had never once imagined himself in a situation like this. Boardrooms, press conferences, hostile takeovers, those were familiar battlegrounds. This was different. This was fragile. He took a slow breath and stepped forward. The door opened quietly as he pushed it. Inside, the restroom was brightly lit but painfully silent. The air smelled of soap and cleaning chemicals. A faint echo bounced off the tiled walls as the door clicked shut behind him. Then he heard it. Soft, broken sobs. They came from one of the closed stalls. A woman's voice, trembling and exhausted, whispered to herself, I can't lose this job. The words hit Adrian harder than he expected. They weren't loud. They weren't dramatic. They were desperate. Like someone who had been holding back tears all day and could no longer carry the weight alone. He walked slowly toward the store, making sure his steps were gentle, not threatening. He stopped just outside the door. For a second, he wasn't the CEO. He wasn't a leader of thousands. He was simply a man at a door. I'm sure how to help. He lifted his hand and knocked softly. Ma'am, he said carefully, keeping his voice calm and respectful. You're safe. You can open the door. Inside, the crying stuttered, as though the woman had been startled. The sobbing slowed down, broken by shaky breaths. Adrian could hear the faint sound of fabric being wiped across her face. His silence followed. He waited. Seconds felt like minutes. Stall door. He heard a small, fragile whisper. Who's there? Adrian carefully chose his words. My name's Adrian, he said. I work here. A little boy outside is worried about you. Another long pause. He could almost feel the woman's fear through the door. Fear of judgment, fear of consequences, fear of being seen at her weakest. The crying came back, but this time softer, almost like it was melting away. Her breathing slowly began to steady. Finally, the click of the lock echoed quietly in the small restroom. The door didn't open yet, but it had been unlocked, and for Adrian that small sound meant everything. The door opened slowly, as if it were too heavy for the woman to push. The hinges made a faint, tired sound. She stepped forward, holding onto the edge of the stall as though it was the only thing keeping her upright. Her hands were trembling. Tears had ruined the careful makeup around her eyes, leaving dark, uneven streaks down her cheeks. Her hair was slightly messy, strands falling loose from a tight bun. She looked exhausted, not just tired, but worn down by fear, pressure, and months of silent struggle. She lifted her eyes toward Adrian for a moment. She looked confused, then shocked, then terrified. I didn't know it was you, she whispered. Adrian stayed still, giving her space, his expression calm and patient. She swallowed hard, her voice breaking as the truth finally spilled out. I was told, she said, clutching her hands together, that if I took time off, I'd be fired. Her breath hitched. My son, he's been sick for weeks. I have no one else. No family. No backup. I'm a single mother. If I lose this job, we'll lose everything. Asterisk, her knees almost gave way and she grabbed the sink to steady herself. Asterisk, the silence in the restroom grew heavy. Adrian felt something shift inside him. His jaw tightened. Not at her tears, asterisk, but at the idea that fear like this could exist inside the walls of his own company. Asterisk, his face hardened, not with coldness, but with a quiet, focused anger toward injustice. He reached into his pocket and pulled out his phone. Without hesitation, he called his assistant. Asterisk, cancel my next meeting, he said firmly. There was a pause on the other end. Sir, the board, asterisk, I said cancel it. Adrian repeated, his voice calm but absolute. He ended the call. Then he looked back at the woman. Asterisk, you're not in trouble, he said gently. Asterisk, her eyes widened or not. He shook his head slowly. No, one should have to choose between their child and their job, he said. Asterisk, and no one under my leadership will be threatened for being a parent. Asterisk, the woman's lips trembled, and she let out a shaky breath she'd been holding for weeks. Asterisk, outside the restroom, faint footsteps could be heard, the little boy waiting. Asterisk, and for the first time in a long while, she felt a small spark of hope. Asterisk, the office was unusually quiet as employees slowly gathered in the main conference hall. Word had spread quickly that the CEO had cancelled an important board meeting, and whenever that happened, it meant something serious was coming. Rows of chairs filled with whispers, nervous glances, and confused faces. Asterisk, Adrian Cole stood at the front of the room, his hands resting calmly on the table, but his eyes scanning every face in the crowd. Managers, assistants, interns, and supervisors, everyone was there. The air felt heavy with anticipation. Asterisk, near the entrance stands a small figure, the little boy, standing close to his mother's side, still holding his red toy car, his fingers wrapped tightly around it. Just like before, Adrian stepped forward. Thank you all for coming on such short notice, he began. His voice was calm, but firm. I want to make something very clear, starting today. Asterisk, the room went silent. Asterisk, no employee in this company should ever feel afraid to care for their family, he said. If you are a parent and your child needs you, you will get paid emergency leave. No threats, no warnings, no fear. Asterisk, people exchanged shocked looks. Some covered their mouths. A few eyes filled with tears. Asterisk, he paused, letting the words sink. In asterisk, this is not a privilege, Adrian added. This is a right. Then he turned and looked directly at the little boy. You, he said, lowering his voice, a soft smile appearing on his face, did the bravest thing today. The boy blinked in surprise, then slowly smiled. The room began to clap. At first it was soft, then louder and louder, until the entire hall was filled with applause. The mother felt her legs weaken. She pressed a hand over her mouth as tears streamed down her face again. But these tears were different. They weren't heavy with fear anymore. They were light, warm. Relieved, she dropped to her knees and hugged her son tightly. Back you, she whispered to Adrian, though her voice was almost lost in the sound of clapping. Adrian simply nodded. That day, something changed inside the company. Not because of policies, not because of profit, asterisk, but because a small, brave child spoke up at the right time.